It says find the area in its exact value. Have a look at the figure. You can see that the shape is a little pizza slice. I don't know, I just like calling these things a pizza slice. It's the sector of a circle, isn't it? So this is like just a little bit of a sector of a circle. And this is also a triangle, which is a right angle triangle. For the circle, or the sector of the circle, the pizza slice, you can see that it's a right angle there, which indicates that this is just a quarter of a circle. So the fraction of the circle that we want is just a quarter of it. It also gives you that this length is 16. And see how there's some strokes here which indicate that these, and these sides are identical. So if this length is 16, this length and this length must be exactly half of it. So this is 8, 8, and this one's also going to be 8. Get your formulas for circles and triangles ready in your head, and let's try to find these area of figure. For the pizza slice, it's going to be a quarter times pi r squared, where the radius is 8, right? It's a quarter because that's just a quarter of a circle, right? And we add it to half times base times height for the triangle. So half times base times height. And because they wanted you to put the answer in exact value, don't put it in your calculator. Don't do that, otherwise you'll lose marks. Simplify it using your little algebra skills. See how 8 squared is 64? 64 divided by 4, that gets you 16. So 16 pi. And half times 8 is 4. 4 times 8 is 32. So 16 pi plus 32 meters squared is the answer in exact form. Do not put into your calculator, all right? Find h if the area is 110 meters squared. Okay, so this time we want to find h, and they already give you the area of this figure. Now guys, what two shapes do we have here? Well, we've got a rectangle and we've also got a trapezium. Let's find those individual areas in terms of h. Now see here, with a trapezium we need the parallel lines. So see how 6 and this one is parallel? So we've got 6 and they give you this is 10, so this must also be 10, right? So we've got enough information for the trapezium. Now for the rectangle we've got 10 here, but we also need to know the width. Now they give you that this whole length is 12. This little bit is h. So from here to here is h. So to get just the width there, this length here, that would be 12 minus h. 12 minus that h, that's the width. So now let's find the area in terms of h. What I'll do is for the trapezium first, remember we do height divided by 2. We don't know the height is h. H divided by 2 times the two parallel lines added together. So 6 plus 10. That's the trapezium. And then the rectangle, we do length times width. Length is 10, width is 12 minus h. And that must all equal to 110. That's the area of the figure. Now let's simplify. Simplify it step by step, guys. Be careful. Now you can see that 6 plus 10 is 16. And if I divide that by 2, we get 8. So we just have 8h left over here. And you can see if I expand this out, we have 12 times 10, which is 120. And negative h times 10, which is negative 10h. That is still equal to 110. Gather your like terms. 8h minus 10h is negative 2h. And if I move 120 over to the other side, I'll have 110 minus 120, which gives you negative 10. Now the negatives, we can just cancel them out. If both sides are negative, just cancel them out. And divide by 2, h is simply 5, because 10 divided by 2 is 5. And that's it, we've found h. Find the area in its exact value. Okay, so this time it looks like a football field. And you can see that we've got these round bits, and in here we've got a rectangle. Now the rectangle is in the middle, and can you see that these round bits are semicircles? They're semicircles because this is a straight line. So that's a semicircle, that's a semicircle. So together, what would they make? Together they would make a full circle. So basically we need to find the area of the rectangle and the area of a circle. But to do that, we need to know the radius of the circle. See how this whole thing is 10 and this is 6? see how this part, this length here, is a radius? This is also the radius. So 10 minus 6 is 4. So this plus this is 4. So the radius would be 4 divided by 2, which is 2. So the radius is 2. Okay, so we've got the radius. Be smart. See how this is the center of a circle? So this is also the radius. This is also the radius. So if that's the radius is 2, the radius is 2. So the full length there must be 4. Okay, so look at the rectangle. We've got the width ready for us. The width is 4, the length is 6. So let's try doing the area. So we've got pi r squared, because that's the full circle where the radius is 2, plus 6 times 4 for the rectangle. Now do not put that in your calculator because they want you to put it in exact value. So 2 squared is 4, so we've got 4 pi, and 6 times 4 is 24, and that's it. That's the simplest form we can put it in. So do not put it into your calculator, okay? Find the area in its exact value. Now guys, it should have been a little bit more specific here, but basically we want to find just the shaded area, okay? So see how they shaded this area for us? We just want to find that area. Now, if we don't have this shaded bit, you can see that this whole shape is another pizza slice. Yeah, it's another pizza slice. So it's a part of a circle, isn't it? Now, because it's a right angle, we know that that is a quarter of a circle. So we know how to find that. And the radius is 4. But we don't want the whole thing. We just want this little bit. So we have to subtract away this triangle. So we've got the base, and we know that this is also 4, the height, because they give you these little lines. So let's find it. So we do quarter of a circle, so quarter of pi r squared, so radius is 4, minus the circle, minus this triangle, sorry. Half times base 4 times height 4. And they still want you to put in exact value, so do not put it into your calculator. Now see how 4 squared is 16? 16 divided by 4 is 4. So we have 4 pi, and then 4 times 4 is 16, divided by 2 is 8. So we have 4 pi minus 8 centimeters squared. That is the answer. Find the area. Okay, so we just want to find the area of this little bit there. Now this time what I'll do is find the area of this full rectangle and subtract away these triangles here, because these indicate hollow space. Let's do that. That's the smartest way, isn't it? First of all, to find the area of the large rectangle, we need the length and the width. See how this is 3 and this is 6? So together, the length would be 6 plus 3, which is 9. And then the width here, you can see that this is 3, this is 4. So together, 4 plus 3, 7, that's the width. Okay, so we can find the area of the rectangle pretty easily. For the individual triangles, see how that's 3? So this length must also be 3. And that's 4, so the height must be 4. What about for this one? For here, the height here is 3, so this must also be 3, and the base is 6. See how that's 6? So this is also 6. Do we have all the information that we need? I think we've got it ready for us. Let's try to find the area. So first we find the area of the rectangle, which is, well, I've put it in like this just so you get the idea. 4 plus 3, which is basically 7, but I'll just write it like 4 plus 3 here. And 6 plus 3 for the base, or the length, minus half times base times height for this triangle. So that's the first triangle. And we also subtract away that triangle, which is half times height times base, 4 times 3. Simplify that one by one, guys. Trying to simplify this first, then this, then this. Do it step by step and calculate the answer using extra steps. And I just calculate that straight away. It's 48, but please check if you do get that, okay? The calculation I'm not going to go through because I'm going to leave that to you. 56. Okay, again, we want to find the area of just the shaded area, just the shaded parts. Again, we have a pizza slice. It's like a sector of a circle, and because it's a right angle, it's just a quarter of a circle. But we don't want this part. We want to take that away. But how do we just find that little bit? What I'm going to do is find the area of the whole sector, subtract away this part, subtract away this whole part, and then later add on, because we still want this part, I'm going to add on that part. Subtract, then add. That's what I'm going to be doing. First of all, we need to know the individual radiuses. See how this is 15? And they give you that this is equal to this is equal to this. Each of them, what's 15 divided by 3? It's 5. So each of them represent 5 meters. So the radius of the big circle there is going to be 15. The radius of the medium-sized one is 10, and the small one is 5. So let's try it. So we're going to do quarter because that's just a quarter of a circle. So quarter times pi r squared, the big one. So quarter times pi times 15 squared minus now the medium-sized one. We're going to do subtract away quarter times pi times the radius is 5 plus 5, which is 10 squared. And then we also have to add back on the little bit because that's also shaded, isn't it? So we have to add that back on. We add a quarter times pi times, what's the radius this time? 5. So 5 squared. Be very, very careful. If you can, use brackets. I like to use brackets just to so I can distinguish these little bits and pieces. Simplify them, add in extra steps if you need to. Be very, very careful. And that's what I get on my screen. Please check if you do get that, okay? And to 2 decimal places, something like that. That's the area of just that shaded part that we want. So it's not very hard, is it? As long as you memorized your formulas, you just need to think a little bit to find a quick way of finding the area that we want. That was some composite areas.